Hey, welcome back to Paul's Projects. Today I'm going to be tackling a problem I have with my soldering iron, and that is occasionally I will forget to turn it off, and obviously don't want to leave it running when I'm not around. So I think what I'm going to try and do is use a Arduino Mini and connect a PIR sensor, this is a motion sensor, and then tie that to a relay. So what it'll do is when it detects motion, it'll turn on the relay, which will then turn on my soldering iron. And when I'm not here for a period of time, whatever I set that to, I think I'll set it to about 10 minutes, then it'll shut off automatically. So I don't have to worry about it. I can still turn it off manually like that, but in case I happen to forget, it'll automatically turn off. So, and I don't want to splice into the cable for my soldering iron, so I'm going to connect this to an outlet and then plug my soldering iron into this. And I might also plug my lights into this as well, so the lights shut off too. So yeah, let me show you how I'm going to wire all this up and the code, and we'll get to it.
All right, I'm going to quickly go over how we're going to wire this up. It's pretty simple. You got your PIR sensor here, and the output signal from it is going to come to pin D10, and the relay, the signal that's going to go to it is coming from D6, so it's going to go to there. And then you're going to wire up your ground to ground, which is pretty simple. And then your power on both of these are going to go to 5 volts. For your actual relay, wherever your power is coming from, the cable, you'll have to splice into it. And your positive cable, you're going to plug into one end, you're going to plug into the middle terminal, and the other one that would send the power on to the object you want to power is going to go to either of these two outlets here. I'm not sure on this particular drawing if it's backwards from what I have it set, but basically one will either be always open or one will always be closed. So if you hook all this up and it's working backwards from what you would expect it to, so it shuts off when when it detects motion, and when you walk away and there's no motion, it turns everything on, then take this outside pin here and move it to the other one. So you're always going to use either one of the outside ones, and you're always going to be using the inside one. So you're never going to be using both outside ones. Just keep that in mind. So that's pretty simple. For mine, I actually hooked up a barrel jack so that I could use a different power source. If you want to use one of those, it's also really simple. You just plug your power into the VIN and your ground into ground. If you're using an Arduino Mini, your VIN is probably going to be called raw, and your 5 volts is probably going to be called something like VDD or something to that effect. They're exactly the same thing. They're just named differently for whatever reason. You don't have to use this. You can, on a nano, you can just plug your USB power in, and that'll work just fine. So that's the schematic, I guess you could call it. And let's jump over to the program code so I can show you how all this works. Here's the code. It's really simple. It's basically just saying if the PIR sensor doesn't see anything, then turn off the relay, and if it does see motion, then turn on the relay. This code will be in the description box below if you'd like to take a closer look at it. And then I just started working on modeling out the housing in Fusion 360. I'm not super proficient in Fusion 360. I can kind of fumble my way around and get something that works. If you're more adept at it, you could probably make something a little more refined, but for my situation, this ended up working just fine. There's a couple small changes I've made to this model that if you download it, it will be updated, but they're very minor things. And then once I had it finished modeled, I was able to 3D print it.
Got my case made and the lid for it. So I'm going to work on trying to put this stuff inside of there. Fortunately, I don't have quite the right nuts and bolts for these, so I'm going to have to kind of improvise until I get a more permanent solution, hopefully. One of the updated things in the model was basically these little screw holes right here. I ended up not making these very stout, and so they broke off. The updated model will be better, but in this situation, I just hot glued the sensor on, and that worked just fine. Cats! Hey! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! I just used some mounting tape here to affix it to my wall, which worked just fine. Once I had it up, I plugged everything in that I wanted to run off of it. Hey, it works exactly as I hoped it would. It turns off my soldering iron and my light when I'm not here, and when I come back, they automatically come back on. So if you would like to make this project yourself, I will put links in the description down below for everything that you'll need. And so that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you'd like to see more of these projects in the future, and I'll see you guys in the next one.